Okay,
You're not gonna show
live
nobody.
stream started, doing the recording, go.
All right, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 7:02. I'm gonna start with my name and then everyone else, please introduce themselves. Juan Luciano.
Shonan Birton.
Harry Santiella, committee member.
Veronica Castro, committee member.
Damash.
Dimaj Nas, community member.
Excellent. All right, there's the attendance sheet. I'm just gonna mark everybody in.
Yeah.
Smash, I'm gonna mark you remote. All right, so we could go to the first item, which is the renewal of 3 alcohol license. The first one is from Caridad and Louis, restaurant located at 1660 East Gun Hill Road. Any discussion on that?
Well, the only thing I want to
That's the
know
wrong.
is each report and then,
Yeah, that's Chris.
Chris, have you heard anything?
Oh, no, I just needed.
Nothing. I haven't received anything for all 3 of them.
No complaints, no brawl, no nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Right here.
That place is actually close to my
Oh,
house.
I got it.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, it is. I go there a
I
lot.
frequent that place. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve, Caridad and Louise, the renewal, alcohol license. A second, please.
Second that. So no letter of
All right,
objection.
any discussion?
not really.
No discussion. Anyone opposed to the motion? Any abstentions? So motion passes. Right?
Yes.
Chris checked on all these, right?
Yes, he said all of them
Still, I think
were
every just that.
clear.
I'm sorry if I missed that, Chris.
All right, the second license is for Code Red Restaurant and Lounge located at 320 East Gun Hill Road. No, sorry, 1320 East Gun Hill Road. Again, it's a renewal license. Mr. Kirka said that there are no complaints from the precinct. I move for the approval of the renewal license for Code Red Restaurant and Lounge. Can I have a second?
I second.
Oh, yeah, we don't have any galleries, so it doesn't.
No, you know what it was? On the website, it says 6
Hopefully this.
All right, any discussion?
We're pretty
Right.
good last time. So.
Anyone, any objection to the renewal? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. Moving on to Marriott Residence Inn at 1776 Eastchester Road. I guess I would imagine that is a license when they have events, because I don't think there's.
No, the bar there.
There's a bar.
Yeah,
in there?
I've been there.
There's a bar there, yeah. We
I
passed.
took food to the people that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a restaurant called the Atrium.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, there's.
Yeah, let me have another report. Like,
Yeah.
Next to the counter.
instead of random.
Awesome. All right, so I move to approve the renewal license. Any, second?
Second.
All right,
No.
any discussion?
This one we never have no problem with too, so.
No.
But like Chris said, we have no objection.
All right, so any, objection? Any abstentions? All right, so the motion passes. All right, do we have anyone in the gallery? There's no one present here. Is there anyone in the waiting area?
Doesn't look like.
No. All right, anyone else wants to talk about? No old business, any new business? All right. Make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
that.
What, these people, we know them, they've been here a couple of times.
All right,
The
meeting is adjourned.
Book the record.
No,
4 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yes. Nobody in
Oh.
the gallery, too, so.
Hey Kay, how are you? Ms. Cardona?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm saying hello and goodbye.
Okay.
We just to adjourn the meeting, I'm sorry. But it's good to see that you were here.
I'm sorry, why are you joining the meeting?
Oh, we just finished. But I mean, we could go back to the gallery session. I mean, it's 7:06. So.
But didn't the
we
meeting-
just-
Didn't the meeting start at 7?
Yes, the meeting started at 7. We just went quickly. There were 3 renewal liquor licenses for Caridad and Luis Restaurant, Red Restaurant and Lounge, and Marriott Residence Inn. All 3 of them were renewals. We asked Mr. Kirka, who checks with the precinct to see if there's any complaints from any of these establishments. The answer was no. So we moved relatively quickly through the agenda. At the time, there was no one in the gallery, but we could go back to that if you
Yes,
have something you
yeah.
want to let us know about or that we should pay attention to.
Yeah, I would like to say something, but not particularly to these 3 establishments, which I do not have any
Okay.
direct knowledge of them, nor do I have any strong objections to any of these businesses.
Okay.
My concern is the fact that I feel like sometimes this committee is not doing its due diligence. I recall at your emergency meeting that you held right before the full board meeting last month,
Yes.
I mentioned that the SLL requires any business that's seeking a new liquor license to put on the door on a notice on their door. It's printed by the SLL form online, stating that they're seeking a license that any member that wants to express any opinion on this application should send an email to licensing@slo.com. I forgot the domain email. But they
Yes.
did not do that, and I mentioned that to you, and it was dismissed. I mean, I feel like
Let me just, let's, we have a clean record. You're talking about the business.
Yeah.
I
the
forgot
Luke's Lounge, the
Luke's
formerly
Lounge.
known, yeah.
Luke's Lounge. Okay, so
And I'm sorry.
you, look, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish up.
I feel like the fact is that this is mandated by the state liquor authority, and it was not followed. And when I brought it up to the committee, it just was dismissed like it was not important, which is not as a pattern with the full board and other committees where they feel like rules don't apply to them or are not essential or not
So-
important to do so. Oh, wait, let me just finish my last sentence, please.
Sure.
And I noticed that other community boards throughout the city, because I work outside the Bronx, and I've seen them put on corners surrounding any establishment that's seeking a new license, informing the residents that they're having a public meeting to discuss the board, to discuss the applicant's request for a liquor license. I know it's advisory, but I feel like both the board and the businesses are not doing their community notification as required by the city charter for the board, or in this case, the committee, and the notification required by SOA for the businesses. And I went to that location, and I looked at their door, and they did not have it. So I'm asking you to please start following the due diligence, what's mandated. And if you don't know, contact SOA, and they'll give you a primer on it. It's not that difficult. I read their website when they I only became informed because there was a new establishment that was seeking a grocery store in Barnes that was seeking a liquor license. So I made I read a lot. I followed up with SLO, what they could and could not do, what they allowed, what they're supposed to do. And I'm just kind of disappointed that every time I bring the fact that something's not being followed, it's just like, who cares? Roxanne's just being an agitator. I think that's a shame that, especially if you're a lawyer, lawyers are make sure that things are done by the rules, by the book. But this is my statement. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Right.
Okay, have a good
So just so that everyone is clear, I am a lawyer. But I'm here in my capacity as a community member.
evening.
So I try to separate the two things, right? And then concerning the notification, I'm glad that you raised that issue. There were, by the way, members of the community that came to that meeting and expressed their concerns about Luke's Lounge, both in this committee meeting and in the full board meeting. There were many concerns about Luke's Lounge. I raised some concerns myself. And the vote was very tight as a result of that concern. So, obviously we don't want anyone to be disappointed, and I'm taking down all the information that you're providing, and hopefully we'll
We'll try to do better.
do better the next time.
Next time.
But, But yeah, that was a tough one. Luke's Lounge was a tough one, and I hope that, you know, we're all wrong and that they do really well for themselves and for the community.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm being sincere in that, but I do not really have much faith in them by the fact that, just like with the mystery, they said two different versions of their stories in different meetings held by the board. And in your first meeting where there was no quorum, he basically said that he had and we mentioned that was in his resume that he was a manager for that Luke's Lounge, but he changed the time frame. And at the full board emergency meeting, he said he had no connection to Luke's Lounge. So the discrepancy in what he said in the previous meeting to what already have lost with brought concerns. Just like Mystery had different tales about their ties or no ties to the former business owner, which I found out that they were all related. And I think we have to. I feel like I hope the letter you sent to SLA specify this tight vote and the concerns so that SLA does their due diligence.
So, yeah, that did happen. I believe that
Okay.
one of the board members raised the issue that we should, the letter should indicate how tight the vote was in the actual verse. So that was expressed.
Was that letter ever provided? Because I have not seen a copy of the letter. I would like to see it because
sure
the last time we.
Cynthia said, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Chair just put a text there that, yes, she will include it.
All right. Has the letter been sent out yet?
Goes to the chat.
Yeah.
So we'll have to ask Mr. Kirka or,
Because several times the committee board has missed the deadline because you have 30 days from the timestamp that you received this applicant's request.
we did not miss the deadline to vote, and I
No,
don't.
not to vote, to send your letter,
I don't know whether we missed the deadline or
because the
not.
deadline is not on your
Don't
vote.
start talking about missing the deadline when we don't know whether that happened or not, and I
No,
don't
I'm
want.
asking, wait. I said in
understand you're
previous
asking.
time.
I
I have documentation in
We put
previous,
into- We put into motion a suggestion that I believe even you had made about doing automatically requesting the 30-day extension when we receive an application.
that
So
was
that's
for
in place.
OCM though. That's not for SLA, that was for OCM.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, you're
Ms.
right.
Delgado, we'll owe you the answer to that question, whether it was sent out on
If
time.
my memory is correct, it did go out on time?
I hope so, because Veronica, quite well have many times you have missed the deadline. Not you, I'm talking about the board,
No,
not
I
strictly you.
understand what you're saying. I'm not
Deadline
taking it
for the vote?
personally. I understand what you're saying.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope
Just
in the
to-
next,
For us to be quiet, Kate.
I hope in the next meeting, when it's something that I'm concerned about, if it's within my vicinity or where I live or my community in Palm Parkway, if I bring concerns, it's not easily dismissed. Because it's not about me being right or wrong. It's
Again,
about
Ms.
me
Delgado,
bringing up
Okay.
This is-
valid concerns
Point
and
of
bringing up
order,
the.
please. Point of order.
Yeah,
Just to follow up on what Roxanne was saying, it says, the SLA does say that when applying for a liquor license in New York City, you must post a notice of the application on the
Yeah.
exterior of the proposed establishment's door. The notice must be posted within 10
Mhm.
days of filing the application. It is to include the name of the establishment, address of the establishment, proposed hours of operation, method of operation of the establishment, date, time, and place of the
Yeah.
public hearing, and the date the application was mailed.
Can I ask,
Now, my thing is, that's SLA's requirement. How do we fall
Enforce it.
into line with making sure?
I don't
that's
want
done?
to get into that, right?
By visiting the
But I
site
do
and
wanna
seeing
get
their
into
front
this
door.
one part about, look, there were many concerns by many individuals. None of the concerns were dismissed.
and the major concern was double parking.
There were a lot of
Yeah.
concerns, but it can't be said that the concerns were dismissed. This was a
No,
very
yeah.
tight vote. There were a lot of
One by
questions.
one.
We had the owner and the owner's advocate there to discuss the application. I don't think anyone is looking at anyone's concern and saying, well, if it comes from this individual, then we're not going to pay attention to it. We get a lot of use for information from everyone.
Yes.
Including Ms. Delgado. So Ms. Delgado is not There, at least as far as as far as I know, there's no special treatment, like your concern doesn't get dismissed just because it comes from you. It actually,
No.
when a concern comes from you, it gets probably more weight than it does from any other of the, many of the community members.
No, okay, maybe I didn't expect, I'm saying if a business doesn't follow what SLL requires, that already sets me red alarm. If he
That's
doesn't,
true. This thing was already voted on.
Voted on, it's gonna go to the next topic.
Yeah,
no, I understand, but I'm saying going forward, I find us that the board, it's not just this committee, continues making the same repeated errors, and that for me is very frustrating, just like there's our rule, they did it twice without full board vote.
Point of order.
Very good
Of
information.
speaking.
Thank you for your information. Thank you so much.
is there any other concern?
Yeah,
No, that's it, thank you for your time.
well, thank you.
I was trying to see if I could find a letter, but
Back
it's too far
someone
down.
else.
No, just the two of them.
Is Kate Cardona?
Ms. Cardona, do you have
Cardona?
any other issues that you want to raise?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I joined the meeting a little on the late side. I'm under the weather today. So the property that you guys were just discussing,
Yes.
I guess it was going to be my question. That little hole in the wall place on Hone Avenue
Yes,
off of Morris Park Avenue, is that the location you're discussing?
I believe so. Luke's Lounge.
Next
Yeah,
time,
but that was already discussed last
Discussed
week.
already, we
Mary.
just.
Last month, do we really want to bring it up?
Because of our-
I just want to hear what she has to say.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sorry.
I passed by there recently because I couldn't, picture in my head, where is this place? And it's right across the street from Emilio's. Okay, great. But it's a very small place and there is an issue with double parking and triple parking. So, in the hopes that this place doesn't open, but should this place open, I mean, what's going to happen going forward? Is there going to be like any additional help from, let's say, traffic enforcement or anything, to prevent the double parking or anything like that?
So those are good points, and I guess if something happens and concerns are brought to us, to the extent that we could do, but to the extent that we could do anything, we will try to do something about it. Here's one thing I thought about when this all happened later after the meeting. These folks lost their license for over a year, right? Which means that they lost a lot of money over that time span. I think to me, that's their biggest incentive to, do the right thing. The fact that they lost probably hundreds of thousands of dollars over that year span. So if they don't care, if they decide that they are going to do the same business as they did before, I imagine the same thing is going to happen and they're going to lose their license. And that's not profitable for them. So I think that's the biggest incentive that they have to make sure that they do the right thing.
I think we also have to keep in mind, it's not the same owner
Right.
and it's not Luke's Lounge anymore. They're gonna
Oh,
call it under a different name.
Yeah, we did.
So hopefully the new owner, he expressed that he was gonna do his best to make sure that there was no double parking and stuff, but we have to wait to see what's gonna happen once it starts. And then we could work with the 49th precinct to try and get them to go by periodically to go ahead and ticket. Now, again, the guy is a new owner. He did work for Luke's Lounge for a
Right.
period of time, so it's not that he doesn't have a connection there, but he was not an owner of the establishment previously.
Right.
We can't really do nothing about the double parking.
Well, I mean, we could contact the 49th precinct, et cetera. But I mean, those issues are valid, Ms. Cardona. We did address those issues. And so, if they come up again, I'm assuming that they're going to come to us or to transit. Someone is going to raise the issue and then we'll do the best we can with the 49th precinct to pay attention to it.
Okay, yeah, because I personally don't know the place and I don't really hang out there on Morris Park Avenue, but a couple of people I know did, mention it was a concern to them because they live like directly in that area. And I said that I would bring it up, at the eco development meeting and see where we were, where we stand. But I guess it's going to be a wait and see kind of thing. I mean, hopefully I was in the meeting last month, with the business agent when she was speaking and she didn't seem to be completely aware of everything. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, hopefully this will be a better establishment for the community. than the previous one was.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other
Thank you.
concerns?
It's a hand up
Yeah,
there.
I have my hand raised. We've been wanting to do a policy procedure to verify going for any new applicants seeking a license, pass that notification required by SO, post it on their front door, which can easily be verified. And secondly, we'd be willing to make sure that the community staff, whoever posts, they only have to post on each corner surrounding that business to notify the community that there's a public meeting to discuss the new applicant request. Is that possible, please? Because many community boards do that.
For our community. For
Hold on,
our.
hold on, hold on. All right, Mr. Gal, which community board does that?
Many, because if you read the
Can you
city
name
charter,
one? Can you name just one so I can reach out?
like Manhattan Community Board 8 or 7, because I don't know. One second, I could Google the address because I saw that.
Okay. I'm gonna make it my business to reach out to them to see what they do when it comes to liquor license and notes and stuff like that.
All right, so you know what? I'll send the staff an email tomorrow after work with the specific, because I actually took a picture of it. So I'm gonna go through my galleries, my phone gallery and send you that picture.
Thank
And
you.
they're not the only one had done that because I also work in different locations in Manhattan. And every so often I walk by, I see things posted and it's come from a community board notifying them of a public meeting regarding an applicant seeking a liquor license. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so we have already actually gone through the entire agenda, moved to adjourn. I want to thank everyone for coming and attending, and at this point, we're going to end the meeting at 7:23.
Thank you.
Night, guys. Have a great day.
Get better.
Thank
care.
you.